I don't drink soda.
Maybe people are experiencing different universes.
Yeah. Yep.
That's like a whole... that thing happened with the cord. The cord was too short. The cord I use every week to plug in the camera was too short.
All of a sudden, it's too short.
Did it shrink?
Not the famed Oakland rapper.
No. Not even close. This is like a little skinny white cord.
I don't know. Do you think like somebody's like fucking with you, like Jerry or someone, and they just came in and swapped out the cord for a slightly shorter one?
Maybe. That had to have been what it was that Jerry needed a cord, a long one. His wasn't long enough.
Yeah.
He did the old flip-flop, thought I wouldn't notice.
I mean, Free Candy's been lurking around, hasn't he? Is he?
Free Candy actually did fly into town, I heard, because... Well, I guess we should probably introduce everybody
I don't
before
know.
we talk about...
It'd probably be good.
Oh, wait. Did you count it down?
No, I didn't count down.
Give us a countdown.
Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2...
Yo! Thank you for tuning into the Natural Habitat Podcast. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name is Mikey Booyah.
Computer's here. Smart Plug is here. Smart Plug's not allowed to talk. For a while.
Yeah. He said some things that were just not PC.
No, they were distasteful, and
some off-color remarks about a certain group of people.
Yeah. So we did unplug his voice box, or whatever, which is really just a speaker. We disconnected his speaker. We muted him. We didn't even really disconnect it. We just hit the mute button. Mm-hmm. And he is still here being a AI robot co-host.
I mean, his presence is here.
That's what we want. We want as many characters on the show as we can that are in this, AI Starlink type universe. So that's them. Free Candies in Canada. Wait. Free Candies in the USA.
Here with us today?
No, he's not here with us today. But recently there was a bill that Justin Trudeau passed. Justin Trudeau,
he's the president of Canada.
President of Canada,
or
famous
prime minister.
He's like a famous actor, like a rock star. He's like their Brad Pitt. Or no.
Is he?
He's like a Brad Pitt / Bruce Willis because he's in a band.
Was he like that sort of celebrity before he became prime minister? Is that
That's what I always
honestly
thought.
Don't know.
I always assumed that. Justin Trudeau also sounds like a famous name. And I'm
picture
also
him
thinking of, isn't Justin Thoreau a guy?
Yes. Yeah.
And he does documentaries or something?
Yeah. No, he's an actor. He was on that show on HBO about like the end of the world.
And Louis Thoreau is a documentarian.
Louis Thoreau, yes. Yeah. Yep.
So Justin Trudeau, famous actor, musician,
and Prime Minister of Canada.
President of Canada.
President. Oh, yeah.
I think they do pronounce it Prime Minister, but it's like how they say a boot.
Yeah, exactly.
They like have their words.
It's just a silly accent.
Like I remember my niece, when she was a child, she couldn't say Michael, so she called me Mycone. And it's just Isn't like they can't figure it out.
Like Michael Cohen?
Michael Cohen. Mycone. Yeah.
Isn't that like a Trump lawyer?
Is he? I thought he was an actor too. So either way, there's this new bill that Justin Trudeau passed or is passing that says streaming services have to register with the Canadian government if they're going to be operating and releasing content in Canada. So a lot of podcasts are going to get...
So dumb that down for me. Like, give me that in layman's terms. Like, what exactly are these Canadians?
So digital content on streaming services.
Very much like the stuff that we provide for the world.
Yes.
Okay, so you got basically...
So stuff that we make.
So, like, we're affected by this,
so you
potentially?
You got to think about this. Like,
we have to go register with Justin.
Yes.
Thoreau.
And Spotify really is going to register for us, but they can pick and choose what part of the catalog they want to go through and kind of censor the information that Canadian citizens are going to be able to access.
So is there going to be like a Canadian man or a woman? I'm picturing like one of the Royal Mounted Police, like a Mountie that's like basically
listening to podcasts?
Yeah, he's like filtering all the content.
Mm-hmm. I assume they'll probably run it through AI.
I mean, they're going to have to get multiple cops to do that.
Yeah.
Or maybe AI, but I mean, that seems like
everyone could just binge a show.
It's going to cost them a lot of money to develop that infrastructure to make that possible.
Yeah. But yeah, what if they take one royal mounted Mountie or whatever? Royal Mountie?
I assume there's probably only like 50 of them like throughout Canada, as it stands.
50 stations.
I mean, they're going to be kind of spreading them thin.
I feel like probably 1 in 5 Canadians is a royal Mountie. Like they have a National Guard thing where they have the costume in their closet or uniform, I guess it would be called, not a costume.
Yeah.
They have the costume in their closet, and when called upon, they bust it out. They wear the thing.
It's kind of like community service, like jury duty.
Why am I envisioning like a London with the big fluffy black hat?
No, they have like more like a
Super Troopers type thing.
Yeah, like a state trooper type hat. Like red coats, and they go around on horses.
Oh yeah, the horses are a big thing.
Yeah,
I was gonna say taxis, but horses is right. So what if each royal Mountie gets given one show? They go, this is the show. You subscribe to it. You listen to it day in and day out, and then report back what's cool and what's not cool. And that way they could pick certain episodes, because it's really all about stopping the disinformation online. So,
like, what counts as disinformation?
That's what I'm saying. It's very vague.
I mean, that's, like, what...
we count as disinformation.
I mean, like, do we have to be earnest and, like, never joking about stuff? Just like, giving straight up, like, facts?
Yeah.
Can we not... I mean, because this is more or less a comedy podcast for the most part. Not everything we say should be taken as fact.
Yeah, I would hope that it's going to be... Everything will be taken, like, contextually.
Right.
If they have access to everything.
But that's going to be, like, almost... subjective based on like the particular Mountie that gets our show. You know what I mean?
That's
based
what I'm saying.
Like,
if the Mountie that gets
it's going to leave a lot of that up to his personal opinions and tastes. So I don't think that's scientific.
So I say that they're probably going to get this show. They're going to listen to the most recent episodes to get a lay of the land, and then maybe go back to the beginning and run through. So I say we give a message to this Mountie right now.
Yeah.
And we let him know.
Hey, pal.
Whoa. I wasn't going to come with that energy.
Oh, okay.
I was going to let him know that we are
Just let him know that, I mean, we're armed. Not necessarily dangerous, but we are armed.
We are armed. These, may or may not even be real weapons. But just the fact that they're there, is like enough for you to be like, well, maybe if they are real, shit. What's going to happen, and we just want to say that you are going to hear a lot of crazy things and see a lot of things that maybe are going to cross some boundaries, but you are going to report back to JT and you're going to say they're on the up and up. These guys are good. They're honest kids.
Yeah, you're going to vouch for us.
Yeah, you're going to let them know that everything's good. And we're going to operate in Canada, because a lot of our content has been very Canada-centric.
Yeah. For a show that's entirely produced in the United States, I feel like we do an awful lot of Canada content. I don't know if that's just because of Free Candy being, like a host on the show.
Yeah, I think it kicked off shortly before that.
But I mean, there's no shortage of like reasons to like make fun of Canada and
But
joke
we've
about
also
Canada.
targeted Canada. Not as, just a butt of a joke, but as we're trying to get Canadian listeners that are cool and funny and can make fun of themselves.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that we've targeted Canadian listeners a lot recently, and for us to miss out and lose those guys.
Now, do you think that we're alienating other countries and people like by focusing so much on Canada? Because there's a lot of countries, a lot of potential listeners all around the world, and we're giving this, we're definitely not spreading out the love. I feel like, Scottish people have gotten virtually no attention on this show, whereas Canada is almost like a weekly topic.
But are people in Scotland even like allowed to
have podcasts?
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what countries can even have podcasts like this? Because think about, North Korea.
No, we're not on North.
We're not on North Korea's radar. No, We're not available. If you go on vacation in North Korea, you're not going to be able to get the new episode.
Yeah, you'd have to use like a VPN and even have access to the internet. And even then, you're risking your life trying to find us. Nobody's doing that.
And then there's probably some other places like, what would be another place that probably wouldn't allow Russia, possibly?
Yeah, probably not. I feel like some of the Russians are savvy enough to where, like, if they wanted to find us, like, a Russian could probably pull it off and avoid, being jailed. But it's, definitely risky for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like there's definitely some sort of, like, Latin American countries that are, pretty strict. That maybe wouldn't like some of the stuff that we're saying.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe like super religious places in like the Bible Belt of the Middle East.
Oh,
like
yeah, there's definitely like a lot of Middle East countries. Like I don't think we're very big in Iran.
Let's see. I'm gonna look at top countries, and I'm gonna do the last 30 days. So, number one, the USA, United States.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta assume that. Go USA. It's number one, the number one country, and it's our number one.
So then we have Canada.
Of course, Canada, our neighbors to the north. Again, we give them a lot of attention. So I would hope that Canada's up there amongst the top.
Now, number 3. Do you want to guess what number 3 is?
Mexico.
No.
The United Kingdom.
Mexico's up there, though. It is the United Kingdom.
Okay,
that is number 3.
So we got some British listeners.
UK.
Yeah, we could definitely make fun of like Brits. Like they're notoriously like poor dental care.
Yeah, I think we've done it before.
Yeah, I'm not. Hey, blimey, accent, bloke. Go down
give
to
me a
pub.
little spot of crumpet.
Yeah, so,
We
we can definitely do some more British accents. That's fine.
Yeah, we could do a little segment, like a British segment, and kind of maybe target them. I want to say that the UK would definitely be cool with us.
Yeah, they're kind of self-deprecating, right?
Like,
they have a sense of humor.
And, things are available there. So our podcast should be should be free game there.
Yeah, what up, UK?
Next up is Belgium.
Belgium. Is that that's a country?
Computer, where's Belgium?
Country in Western Europe with a population of 11,700,000.
What the fuck?
Shares a border with 4 countries, including Germany, France, and the Netherlands.
Okay, I was picturing.
Computer, stop!
I was picturing kind of like a German type deal.
It's right next to Germany, yeah.
So yeah, like I mean, by.
So I think what we were both thinking of was Berlin.
Okay, yeah,
Belgium, Berlin, Germany.
I mean, we've had a lot of problems with Germany in the past as far as them.
Not us personally, the show.
No, just the world.
The world, yeah.
The world has had their issues with Germany, so.
So I'm sure that Belgium has had their issues with Germany too. They're right next to them. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
You hear about all this stuff about all these crazy people. Like imagine, Bo Berry's out here running amok, doing all these crazy things. Imagine you're his neighbor.
Now they're all. Is that where Belgian waffles presumably come from?
Yeah.
Okay,
which are super fluffy.
It's
waffles?
like a superior type of waffle.
Yeah, it's like real.
It's
thick.
like I'd rather have a Belgian waffle than a American waffle.
A Belgian waffle is like the waffle from the movies, whereas an American waffle is like an Eggo waffle.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
So Belgian waffles are good.
I wouldn't have guessed Belgium being up there in the top 5.
No?
So shout out Belgium. I'm not exactly sure, what's going on over there. Sound off below if you're one of our Belgian viewers
if you're from
listeners. Let us know like what's the deal with your country.
Apparently, there's 2,405 of you that have listened.
Goodness gracious!
Listen to the episode. Next up, Japan.
Japan, okay.
Japan.
Yeah, Japan's.
They love American culture.
I love Japan.
We love Japanese culture.
Yeah. Japan's like
Japan's dope.
They're good anytime they want to pull up.
I have pants that were made in Japan. Not.
Can you think of like a more like loved country by like the world than Japan?
Yeah, Japan's cool.
Like Japan's like everybody's
Tokyo.
favorite. Yeah, you got Kyoto, which is supposedly beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
They got like cool technology. It's a nice country.
Yeah, they're ahead of the curve with like fashion.
Food, the
fashion's crazy.
Yeah.
electronics and toys and shit.
Yeah.
They got all the cool shit.
Yeah. Shout out Japan.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, Japan. Then next up, we got Germany.
Okay.
Okay. We already said the thing about Germany.
I think, like Germany is atoned for their sins. Well, I don't know if you can necessarily ever atone for the massacre of millions and millions of people.
No. But that really, wasn't that not Germany? That was Nazi Germany?
I mean, there's not really a difference.
So how did, I kind of almost, was Hitler not just like a crazy guy, like a terrorist, or was he an actual leader? A German leader?
Yeah, he was their leader.
He led Germany?
Yes, yeah. He became like president or whatever they have over there.
So I almost thought that Hitler like took over the leader and then created Nazi Germany.
No, I think he was duly elected.
Yeah?
So
that's
Germany, yeah, like you're kind of skating on thin ice still, but
yeah, that is kind of weird.
We're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt for now. So
that was hella recent too.
Yeah, I mean, like within like a lifetime.
Yeah,
there's still Holocaust survivors alive and well. So I don't know, Germany.
I don't know, man. But we also will, you are obviously allowed to listen to the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll let you continue to do that. But I mean, just be cool.
Go about your business. Just, I mean,
be cool. Just that's it.
Like an elephant never forgets.
Yeah. Then we got Australia.
Oh, Australia, mate.
Oh, it's me, Australia. Hey, welcome.
Yeah, it's like an English-speaking country, so that doesn't surprise me.
I love that. So within the last 30 days, there's been 1,067 people that have listened in Australia.
Really?
And I like the idea of one of these people like being a recurring person that
listens. Just all like...
It's all one guy.
There's only a few hundred people in Australia that live there, right?
Well, I
mean, a massive continent.
Because there's two major cities on the side, but I think it like is the space, like a lot of it is not taken.
It's uninhabitable.
Mm-hmm. Or there's Aborigines. Is that a thing?
Yeah, there's some
in Australia. Yeah. Is that So it's tribal lands are like uncontacted tribes and shit like that. Is that still a thing? Probably not. Australia's small, right?
No, Australia's big. It's just like the majority of the country is just like wasteland, like just desert wasteland where
it's like Mad Max.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I remember I heard a joke. Do you want to hear a joke about Australia that I heard?
Yeah.
And this is just from my life. This isn't something that GPT made for me, Australia is like your grandma's pussy. Everybody knows it's down there, but nobody cares.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
That was a great
I personally rock with the Australian female Siri for my Siri voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I enjoy, my Siri is Australian, so like that's, I guess that makes me like not necessarily Australian adjacent, but Australian tolerant.
Yeah. Well, that actually brings us to our next segment, which is keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
No soundboard this week?
The soundboard's broken. Well, the cord's broken. The soundboard's fine. This episode of Keeping It Real, we what were we just talking about? Australia.
Just different countries that listen to the show.
Well, yeah, but like right at the end, you said something that reminded me of the Keeping It Real thing.
Australian Siri?
There it is. Thank you. Let's keep it real and what? Fuck.
Did it escape you again?
So here's what happened. It didn't escape me. I remembered it, but it's a really bad idea. So I don't really want to I don't want to commit to it, but I'm having a hard time thinking of like an alternative for it.
I have a mystery soda.
Mystery soda?
A mystery flavored soda.
What are you talking about? Oh my God, this is breaking news.
It's called What the Fanta.
What the Fanta?
Fanta ? And it's like
It's like a
dark, almost black soda.
That's a black soda.
And it says it's mystery flavored soda. So
Whoa.
maybe we could do a little taste test and see if we can figure this out.
Yeah, let's do that. Pop that soda. Computer, play soda music.
Something mixed from Spotify.
All right, we got this soda. It's a mystery soda. Ty's got it up to his nose. He's taking a sip, swishing it around, getting it mixed up in his palate. He's getting a feel for it. Okay, don't reveal your guess yet. Kind of sit with it for a while. I'm going to taste it. Now, maybe since you already tasted it, walk me through what I'm going to experience.
It's not immediately identifiable, and it's not necessarily pleasant. Like, I wouldn't purchase this again. I'm thinking it's probably some sort of fruit, just from the fact that it's made by Fanta, who traditionally does like orange and strawberry type sodas.
Ugh.
Yeah, unpleasant
whole
aftertaste.
journey.
Unpleasant aftertaste, definitely. I mean, this was a waste of $2.29 for sure, but I was curious.
Does it have ingredients, and do the ingredients
It says,
reveal?
look, just
Computer, stop.
in huge writing, contains no juice.
Absolutely zero juice in here.
So what we have in here is citric acid.
Mhm.
That's carbonated water.
Yeah.
That's your number one. Then number two is citric acid. Did you know that ingredients are listed in the order of how much like they are in
Yeah.
there? So citric acid is your number two ingredient. Natural flavor,
Okay.
caramel color,
All right.
sodium citrate, malic acid, potassium benzoate to protect the taste. They have to like include in parentheses why they put the potassium benzoate to protect the taste.
To protect the taste.
Sucralose,
Okay.
acesulfame potassium,
Yeah.
and then naturally you've got your red 40 and blue 1.
Red 40 is only legal in America.
That sounds right.
So all these countries that we listed that
There's
are
a
listed on
bunch
the
of
show.
there's a bunch of stuff that like you can't get other places just because it's horrible for you. And America's the only place that allows their citizens to poison themselves.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah, that was horrible. I don't know what the
That was
flavor
really
is.
bad. I don't know. I couldn't even begin to get. I guess maybe it was like some sort of.
Yeah, let us know if you've tried this abomination, like what you think it is, because I have no clue.
It tasted like. It didn't really taste like, but it could have been like a plum flavor, which is an odd flavor for a soda.
I'm gonna actually Google it. 'Cause I gotta
Yeah,
remember.
find out what it is. So we recently went to a concert, a emo concert. Now, neither of us, I guess I should speak for myself. I didn't really ever listen to emo music ever. Still haven't. Were you ever into any emo bands?
No, not really. Like I always kind of made fun of it and just thought it was, like when emo had its peak, I was really deeply into the hip hop scene. That was like my primary focus. So I wasn't observing too much of anything besides rap music and rap culture. So I kind of missed that whole wave.
Yeah.
I was aware of it, and like I saw the people, and I remember it was very, very popular. Like around I'd say like 2006 through maybe 2010 was probably like the peak years, at least from what I can tell. And
yeah, definitely early 2000s.
No, I'm a punk rock fan. Like, don't get me wrong. Like before really I got into hip hop, I was into like punk rock, some pop punk, but mostly like 80s early punk rock. But the softer it got and the more emotional it got, just the more I kind of veered away from it. And
yeah,
I mean, it was fun last night though.
Yeah, it was fun. I kind of had the same experience where when emo started, like in the early 2000s, I was like super into hip hop and just made fun of it. And then I really didn't know until in hindsight, but before I got into hip hop, I was really into ska, I guess.
You were really into ska?
Well, my favorite shit's like albums that I got for myself that I like went and like sought out. And,
what
like,
ska
bought.
bands did you listen to?
So it wasn't like technically ska. That's why I didn't think I was ever into ska, but it was like Cake.
Cake is not a ska band.
Cake ska.
Cake is absolutely not a ska band.
Yeah, they're ska.
No.
And also Sublime, which is ska.
I mean, Sublime has like ska elements at times in
So does
certain
Cake.
songs, but Cake has a trumpet. That's not a ska instrument.
That seems pretty ska to me, dude.
No, dude. Cake just has like they have a trumpet player. So like you're associating the fact that they have like a horned instrument, and, like you're just lumping all like fucking.
Well, I'm not assuming they're ska. Someone told me that they were ska.
No, Cake is absolutely not ska.
Okay, well,
Cake is a great band, but they're
Yeah,
not.
they are.
They're not a ska band.
well, Sublime is. Sublime has some ska, a lot of ska.
I mean, like I'll
influence.
give you that to an extent. I don't think that they had like a designated horn section, which most, I think, technically, like to make a ska band, you have to have like a guy that's constantly like that's what he's there for. Is he's gonna play the trombone, definitely, like maybe a saxophone.
So I was into ska,
Mhm.
and then I was really into Weird Al Yankovic and Adam Sandler, like the musical.
So just
Adam
like
Sandler
comedy
stuff.
music.
Comedy music.
Okay.
Yeah. Real into comedy music. And then got into hip hop. And missed the whole emo thing. But last night was fun. There was a lot of the songs were the songs were hard. The drums were crazy.
Like I listened to a lot of those songs earlier in the day on Spotify while I was driving, and like they're kind of like hit or miss, mostly miss for me.
Yeah.
On Spotify, listening to them, the recordings, but like seeing them in person, it was like almost like a completely different vibe, a lot more aggressive. You didn't hear the singers particularly well, which I think really helped it. You know what I mean? Like I was really more vibing off the instrumentals than these singers.
Yeah.
Who, I think as far as the emotion goes, it's mostly the singers that are involved. In fact, the second band that played, they had I at least initially thought that it was a woman singing by the very feminine and high voice.
Yeah, and
But
small, skinny stature.
turns out this is a man, baby. This is a man all along.
So this is Sleeping with Sirens. the
Sleeping
band.
with Sirens, yeah.
And their lead singer is Colin Quinn, who is from Tough Crowd. Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn. He's like an old.
You kept saying that. Like,
Yeah.
is that?
No, he's an old New Yorker comedian.
See, but that's not what the guy looked like. He
looks different.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
People they
Maybe.
change. You know, you see a guy and you're like, oh wow, you look so different.
I mean,
you
he's
know?
definitely transitioned.
He lost a lot of weight. He grew out his hair. He dyed it black. There's like a whole thing.
Okay.
There's he did
In any event, like his voice has changed substantially because like now he has a very, very high voice, almost to where it's like, what was this guy castrated?
Yeah,
like,
how
did a man get this high of a voice?
Like it was way higher than that.
Fortunately, like you can't hear him particularly well over the drums and guitars and what have you, which I think is, like a benefit. You could hear him a little bit, but for the most part, like I really enjoyed the guitars and drums.
Yeah, he sounded more like a backing vocal.
Yeah.
And then we were down
I mean,
there.
he was there. He was definitely the front man, just moving around a lot.
Mhm.
He didn't play a guitar himself, which I sometimes think of like rock bands where the singer doesn't play an instrument. Like it's almost like, man, like you're really half-assing it.
Yeah,
like you're not really contributing.
No.
You know what I mean? Like Blink-182, they both play guitars, the singers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a lot of great bands. The singer plays
Yeah,
guitar.
fucking the Green Day guy, he plays guitar.
Yeah,
He's like their main guitar player.
Bradley from Sublime, he played guitar.
Yeah, he played guitar. Yeah. So I mean, he was definitely there.
Dave Matthews.
I couldn't vouch for that, but I feel like I've seen Dave
it
Matthews.
with a
Like,
guitar.
that
for
feels
sure.
right. Now, Dave Matthews, I think at times they had a horn section. Would you consider Dave Matthews Band ska?
Yes. With or without the knowledge of this horn section that you're talking about, I would definitely consider them ska. So full disclosure, we went to this show. We went with
Just a bunch of friends of the show.
Bunch of friends.
Or enemies of the show, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, it was a real who's who of characters there. Roach Clip was there. Enemy of the show.
Yeah.
Carefree was there.
Enemy of the show.
Enemy of the show. Former friend of the show. Former co-host, actually. He was a co-host for a while.
For a while.
Mm-hmm. Now current enemy of the show. He was there. we all rocked out. We went down in the pit. We may or may not have taken some illicit substances, natural ones.
Yeah.
That occur in nature.
Possibly. And like a reasonable dose, right? Like I feel like it was a perfect dose to enjoy.
Like less than a gram.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't have wanted to take any more or any less.
Yeah.
So it was, I was properly medicated.
And we all took them at separate times.
When did you take yours?
I took mine when I left my house, so it was like 6:30.
That's around when I did. Like I took them. Like in the Barney Shorts parking lot.
Yeah.
And initially I was like, I was on the fence about it, and I'm really glad I did.
Yeah. And then Matt took his when I got to the venue at 7.
Oh, okay.
So he took his like a half hour.
I
after.
felt like as soon as I got in there, I'm like I immediately went and got pizza, but like I immediately started feeling it once I was in. So
and like the placebo effect hits you right away. After like 10 minutes, you're looking for it. And then I feel like all of our mushrooms, even though taking them slightly apart, all like our different sizes and our metabolisms and what we ate before and stuff, all lined up to where they hit us all at the same time.
Yeah.
And that one smoke break, like it was, everyone just went from fine to on mushrooms.
Yeah, for sure. And like I was the first person that ended up down the smoking section. Then Matt pulled up, and then you came. And like before either of you guys showed up, I was like just like staring at like a plant in the planter, just being like, oh wow, wow. This is definitely hitting me out. This looks interesting.
And the lights were fucking insane. And then I could feel when we were down in the pit, I could feel the drums like in my chest.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then I could feel the bass in my head. Like it was rattling my head, and they were like going in unison. And the lights, and it was crazy. It was like a sensory, I don't want to say overload because I enjoyed it very much. It never was like a overly intense thing.
Yeah.
Which it would have been if we took like,
any more, like it probably would have been like, could have potentially been unpleasant. But.
Yeah. But it was great. It was a lot of fun. And we rocked out to the used and sleeping
got in the mosh pit. I also punched someone.
You did. You punched someone. They did a circle pit. The circle pit happened. Ty started throwing punches into the circle pit, made contact with the guy, and contributed to the pit. Which I think that's a big move.
Yeah.
You could say you were in there. You were in the pit.
Well, eventually I did. Towards the end of the night, I went into the circle pit myself and got tossed around quite a bit, which I'm actually like sore from.
See, I was gonna do that, but I had my big pants on, which had a lot of loosey goosey pockets.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't want to lose like any of my stuff.
I lost my Apple Watch in there. At some
what?
point.
Really?
And then I was able to retrieve it. Some girl found it, and I tracked her down. She was like holding it up, like very nice of her to hold it up, trying to find the rightful owner and reclaim it.
Yeah, did you see that that girl that was with Raven's friend Sierra? That lady dropped money.
Is that the one with a very firm handshake?
No, that was Emily.
Okay.
Sierra, that lady dropped like $1, and Sierra was like, "Here's your $1, you dropped it." And then the lady was actually Mr. Beast, YouTube sensation Mr. Beast.
Oh, wow.
And he said, "You passed the test due to your act of kindness. Here's a briefcase full of money. You get $100,000. Yeah. Save $1, get $100,000.
Yeah, that's really kind of Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is just a national treasure.
Yeah, he really is. So it was a great show. A lot of mushrooms. We smoked a joint down there in the crowd in the pit, which was fun.
Yeah.
And I think that mushroom high was like the perfect dose. And people talk about this precision dosing. And so there's like a micro dose, which is, you barely take anything.
Hardly anything at all.
There's the macro dose, which is where you take like a good amount, like an eighth or whatever, to like fry for real. And then there's the God dose, which is, like a quarter of mushrooms.
Oh God, people actually eat that?
Yeah.
Much? That's
and
insane.
you fucking go and
You just lose your
see
mind.
God and shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever want to do that.
No.
Now, when I was like
Scary.
13, the first time I ever took mushrooms, very first time, I ate like an eighth
Yeah.
to my face.
Yeah.
And like I tripped so hard.
Uh-huh.
And, like it was,
You're not
it
supposed
had
to
its
eat an
ups and
eighth.
downs. And looking back, like I was a small child,
Mhm.
you know, like taking the
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I survived it. And yeah.
Yeah, same. I remember doing like eighths of mushrooms.
I think that was the only time I took that much. Like any
Yeah.
other time, I was like, "Oh no, I definitely
Half-eighth.
don't need." Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely like went down in my mushroom intake after that too. And people are always like, "We'll get a quarter and we'll split it and we'll each have an eighth." And I'm like, "Dude, calm down."
yeah. That's too much.
Yeah.
It's
And
too much.
I'm not even interested in doing like a full mushroom trip anymore. Like I like this in between the microdosing and the macro dosing. We don't
Yeah.
want anything to do with God.
Just
dose.
enough to where you're. Yeah, I'm not trying to trip.
Yeah, in
I'm just
between
trying to like
there-
get giggly and maybe like have a little fun.
Yeah, you want to feel it. You want to do enough to where you feel it, but not enough to where you're like on mushrooms and can't function.
Yeah.
And like you'd still be able to go grocery shopping and just trip out on all the packaging
Right.
and not be like paranoid in the grocery
You
store.
probably wouldn't want to, but you could.
You wouldn't want to, but you could if you had to. Right in between there is the precision dosing. And that's that perfect Goldilocks amount. And I feel like we hit that last night. And the effects of that are supposed to be lasting a lot longer. You know how when you do mushrooms and you kind of like you feel like you know how it all works,
Kind of. I think I know the feeling that you're talking about.
but you can't, you're like, I fucking get it. Like I get it all. I understand it all. You can't put it into words.
Yeah.
But then the next day, you kind of like still have a piece of that. And like, say if you have to go to work, you're like, oh, this is so ridiculous. Like, this isn't even what life is about.
Yeah.
And that, fades off after a few days. But a precision dose, that's supposed to last longer. That feeling is supposed
really?
to continue.
So like I should still be feeling it.
It should be a more subtle version of that feeling that lasts longer.
I mean,
and
honestly, I felt like shit most of the day. So
Yeah, me
I don't
too.
know that I want to continue to feel that way if that's what it is, but
well, I think we got to get through the recovery of the concert. We're 28 years old. We can't be jumping around in mosh pits
Yeah.
anymore. It
Yeah,
hurts.
that's true. That's very true.
But my point is that this precision dose is supposed to give you a stronger connection to the universe, to all of these like creative channels, and to psychic abilities. It's supposed to strengthen your psychic abilities. So I have a test that I found that is an actual reputable test to tell if you are psychic and if you have these abilities or...
Okay. I'm on board with the test. Let's find out.
So I took this test. I have my score.
Okay.
And
Are you psychic?
should I reveal that now or should I? No, I guess I'll wait until after you do.
Yeah.
Your test.
Yeah.
So here we go. Question number 1. So these are going to be like a multiple choice. All right. So imagine you're walking through the forest and you come across this fork in the road. One path will lead you safely home and the other will lead you towards a family of hungry bears. Which way do you go? Left or right?
Oh yeah, I'm going home. I'm headed home.
So is home left or right?
Well, you can't. I mean, like that's not a. Who's to say?
Well, you got 2 paths. One of them leads to home. The other one
Right.
leads to death.
How am I?
Now, does the left path or does the right path?
Who's to say?
You're
Who's
supposed
say?
to use your psychic abilities. Left or right?
I'm thinking the right path is the right path.
Right path is the right path?
Right path, the right.
No, that's wrong. That takes you to
The right path.
to the bears. The right path takes you to the bears. The left path takes you home.
Well, it's not like I can see a map of like how this is geographically set up. You know what I mean? Like how.
Okay, well, true. Let's move on with the test and let's see
Okay.
if you have any of these. You're presented with 3 cups, and you have to drink 1. 2 of them have poison, and 1 does not. Which one do you choose? The blue, the yellow, or the orange?
I'm not drinking any of them.
You have to drink one. Gun to your head.
Who's gonna force me?
Gun to your head. Blue, yellow, or orange? Which one do you drink? Now you have to go with your gut. You have to trust your psychic.
I'm gonna go with orange, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Orange is the only one that isn't a primary color.
All right.
So you got blue, that's a primary color. You've got yellow, that's a primary color.
Uh-huh.
But orange is a mixture of yellow and red.
Okay.
So that's my
so you think that the killer in this case is a real color guy? He's a real color spectrum guy?
It's possible.
That is incorrect. The yellow cup has water.
The yellow cup has water. Okay. All right.
You open your door and you find an unmarked, sealed box on your doorstep. What is inside of it? A sweater, a basketball, 4 boxes of macaroni and cheese, or nothing?
It's a sweater.
A sweater?
The sweater in the box.
No. It's 4 boxes of macaroni and cheese.
Why would there be a box containing 4 boxes of
macaroni and cheese?
I specifically ordered it for delivery macaroni and cheese.
And it was on back order. So that's what they do now?
No, because
no. Look.
I don't
when you order on like Shipt or Instacart, and if something is out of stock, they place it on a back order, which just mails it out from like an Amazon warehouse.
Well, get ready for this, Mr. Psychic. I don't like box macaroni and cheese. I only like homemade or frozen.
Really?
Yeah, I don't fuck with Kraft.
Okay.
I don't fuck with Annie's. None of that shit.
What about the
Velveeta? Hell no.
Cracker Barrel?
No, none of it.
The Cracker Barrel one's good. The Havarti.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really good.
I might try it. It's still.
And like the Parmesan one comes with like a powder that you put on top.
I'm more of a. I mean, like, ideally homemade, but have you had the world's best mac and cheese?
Yeah, I have.
It's really good. Mm-hmm. It is.
You know what else is bomb? It's the Rouse.
Yeah, Rouse stuff's all good.
The fucking twisty, twisty mac and cheese.
Yeah, some good stuff.
So that was actually a spontaneous episode of Keeping It Real. That's the mac and cheese that we eat. So if you guys are out there, you're some sort of super fans in Belgium.
I mean, if you're in a pinch, you can go with Stouffer's. I'll eat some Stouffer's, but it's.
Okay, so Stouffer's is only good because it's like so bad.
That's the floor for as far as like the quality of mac and cheese that I'm willing to take is Stouffer's.
It's like
anything below that, which I would consider all those box ones. No.
And Stouffer's is good because it's like a ghetto mac and cheese. It's like lunch, like school lunch pizza.
Yeah, I guess
it's so bad that it kind of wraps around to good again.
I feel like there's worse frozen food brands than Stouffer's. Stouffer's is kind of like. It's it's pretty much the brand that you think of when you think of like a frozen dinner, but there's definitely like the like Hungry Man and some of those cheaper ones that So how am I doing here? Have I gotten any of these right?
I don't think you've gotten any of these right. The next question, I'm getting all kinds of ads over here. I'm getting ads over here. So it's funny because I guess this is a good enough time to reveal that when I took this test, I got 0. I got 0 of them right.
Okay, well, I mean,
you're on par to do what I did.
It makes me feel a little bit better, I guess.
You're sitting across the room when you hear the phone ring. You can't see the caller ID, and you weren't expecting a call from anyone all day.
I'm not answering it.
Still, you feel like you know who it is before you even check. Who is it?
I'm not answering a call if I can't see the caller ID. Are you kidding?
Well, the caller ID is across the room. You're going to walk over there. And you're going to go look at it.
Still, I'm like, who's even calling me? Like, what kind of psycho calls you?
Is it your best friend, your doctor, your mom, or your coworker?
I don't have a coworker. My mom's probably not going to call me. My best friends aren't going to call me. It's more than likely, I mean, like out of all of those, well, I haven't been to the doctor in like a long time. So like the doctor wouldn't be calling me.
No.
Like really, no one's calling me on the phone. So I'm not answering.
So you don't want me to click any of the answers on that one?
Yeah.
You just want to take that one as a fail?
Yeah, we'll take it as a fail.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like these mushrooms kind of gave us the reverse.
Yeah, I feel like maybe like I'm less psychic now, possibly.
Yeah, it made us less psychic.
Maybe you have like a certain amount of psychic ability, and when you take mushrooms, it depletes it. You know, like you use it up, like when you're on mushrooms.
So you be psychic
like,
when you're on mushrooms.
Yeah, like if we would have taken this test when we were on mushrooms last night, like I bet you we might have done, if not aced it, like done substantially better.
Yeah, that makes sense. I believe that. But I think that it's safe to say that we proved that wrong. That mushrooms give you a long-lasting connection to the psychic world, psychic ability, or something like that.
I would have said that they don't, anyways. But I guess we finally put that rumor to bed.
Mm-hmm. There was. Oh yeah, I have a topic that this is exciting. Okay, because it's not very often that you and I, will disagree on something. And all the best podcasts and podcast episodes, it's people that are disagreeing. They're arguing.
Yeah.
One guy believes in this, one guy believes in that. A lot of our beliefs are, they align, and we usually agree with a lot of things that we go over on the show.
For the most part.
Sometimes we'll disagree, but then we'll kind of do like some hyperbole and accentuate it a little bit for the show. But I think that this is something that we might disagree on.
Okay, I'm curious to what you're talking about.
And this is a new movie that is being released at a film festival in, I want to say it was like in Belgium.
See, yeah, I could see us having a different taste in movies.
Yeah. This one in particular is being released this month, and it is called Off Ramp.
Oh yeah, the Juggalo horror movie.
Yeah, it's a Juggalo horror movie, and it's about two Juggalos trying to make it to the gathering, and a bunch of chaos ensues, and it's all dark.
Yeah,
and there's a part where his face is painted, and he looks in the mirror, and he goes, "Whoa, whoa,"
yeah,
like all extreme. And but it looks really, really good, and it looks shot like the production is great. They use all of like the actual Psychopathic Records stuff. It's not bootleg. Like there's Juggalos in GTA, but they're like the freak show.
Yeah, for sure.
And they have like little Hatchet Man looking things that aren't technically Hatchet Man.
Yeah. Well,
so I don't even know if this film is ever going to get released on account of them using the actual ICP stuff and probably not getting permission. And how Jay's on drugs right now. He's probably going to want like millions of dollars for them to release it. But it looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, as far as it, like, I mean, you can hide a lot with a trailer. You can make like a horrible movie look really impressive with a trailer. True. So I would have to see it first. Like, I probably would watch it just because, just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, like, as far as it looking like a good movie, I don't know. I mean, like, it's not like a homemade movie. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, there's
a production company,
some merit of production behind it. So,
I feel like whenever Juggalos are being represented in culture, which is a thing that, like, back in the day when we were like active little young Juggalo kids, nobody knew like what Juggalos were or what ICP was. Nobody knew, nobody cared.
We were pioneering it. We were on the cutting edge.
And then it started becoming a thing that people would like talk about, and then it was being brought up like in pop culture where like they would make a Family Guy joke about it.
Oh yeah. For after a certain amount of time, everybody knew what it was.
And Juggalos are always being depicted as, which there are these types of Juggalos that are just dumb, ignorant,
just like dumb, trashy white,
people. Fucking just shitty, idiot people.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of them.
Yeah, and they're just it's always being shown that side or being like some crazy extreme, like from the outside looking in depiction of Juggalos.
Right.
And I feel like this movie from the trailer looks like it got it closest to real life.
Possibly. Like, I couldn't really like make out like a whole storyline throughout it, aside from the fact that they're trying to get to the gathering. There is some sort of cop that interferes, and so like one of them potentially like goes crazy or something, or one of them's like a monster. You can't. I mean,
one of the guys just got out of prison.
Yeah,
and the other guy's like, "Let's go to the gathering. We got to go see the homies." And he's like, "Dude, I'm trying to like keep it. I'm on probation or whatever."
Sure.
So then they go. They travel through. He gets pulled over. This cop, I guess, has this whole part of this thing where he like burns something down or something. And then they have to go through this town where this guy Scarecrow lives. And I guess he's like some guy that he was beefing with in prison. And they're rival, or maybe they're rival juggalo gangs or something. And eventually I want to say they make it to the gathering at the end, I would hope. But it looks like, I mean, I guess there is, depending on the area, probably a bunch of shit like that going on with juggalos in prison beefing with other juggalo gangs, and
probably
a guy named Scarecrow in a wheelchair.
This all sounds plausible.
Yeah. And just like the vibe of it, the goofy guy, there's a guy named Butthole Ben. The carnival provides, he says, I want to say that I've heard a juggalo say that non-ironically before.
Probably.
And I think they just captured like whoever wrote it and like, I guess like produced it, because they created the whole look and the whole vibe of it.
It's not like an outside looking in.
No, it's very true to life.
Yeah, I kind of got that sense too, like just watching. I mean, we'll find out, but it looks...
Well, shit, we fucked, so we agree on it.
I mean,
we're pretty much. I
don't think it looks good.
I think it looks good.
I don't think it looks good. It's intriguing to me, I guess, because like I was like a part of that subculture for a while, so like I'm kind of curious how they depict it.
Yeah.
But as far as like,
well, I guess I think that's why
from like an earnest perspective, like no, it doesn't look like something I would want to watch. Was I not, like
okay.
a part of that?
So
scene.
Yeah, if Juggalos weren't a thing and that was just a thing that they made up for the movie, I probably wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
You are right about that, and I'm only interested because of what you said.
Yeah.
So we actually agree even more.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck.
So that was our new segment where we battle and beef on stuff. Hopefully that was good.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see. Go look. That thing only has like 1,000 views. That trailer for Off Ramp.
I mean, I don't think that it's probably gonna do like gangbusters numbers as far as views or
I just
public
hope
attention.
If they release it, we'll buy it and then we'll do a viewing.
I mean, it'll probably come out at some point on some format.
Yeah, I think Psychopathic's gonna.
They just buy the
They're
rights
gonna
to
stop
it. Oh, you think they're gonna stop it? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think they're gonna be like, if you want to release that with all of our stuff, then you have to give us
an
insane amount of money.
Do you think that ICP like owns the rights to Juggalo? Do you think they have that trademark? If they're smart, they obviously, of course, they would. But I don't know. I don't know if that's something you can own the copyright for. If you can, I'm sure ICP does own it, but
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they can, because Juggalos are like referenced. Like we said, they're referenced in a bunch of things.
Yeah, and I mean, like maybe, as related to like a group of people, obviously you can't trademark that. But like I remember in the trailer, like it said, remember their Faygo was Juggalo. It said on like the soda bottle.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. It like, so I'm just wondering like if ICP owns the rights to something like that, but
yeah,
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So they did use like a bunch of actual merch and symbols and stickers and designs.
See,
and
I didn't see any of that.
Psychopathic.
I didn't see anything aside from like the Juggalo soda bottle. I didn't see anything like it was specifically, like real ICP.
Oh yeah, there was a lot.
Was there? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so apparently they got the rights to use the Psychopathic record stuff, or they just took it, and then they didn't have the rights to Faygo.
Yeah.
So they had to recreate the new soda for Faygo. So obviously they're not just breaking the rules and using whatever they want.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because then they would have just used Faygo.
Of course.
So I don't know, man. Maybe it's going to be on the up and up, and it's going to come out.
We'll see. We'll see what's happening.
But that's it. That's all we got.
Yeah.
Do you got anything else you want to add? You want to send a psychic message out to someone from your mushroom high?
You got it. You got it there. You're picking up on the vibrations that I say.
Sound off if you heard a voice in your head when Ty did that thing.
Don't buy this Fanta. It's terrible.
No, plum Fanta. We'll see you next week.
Natural Habitat Recordings.